Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a journey really into something pretty spectacular, the cherry blossom season up in northern Michigan.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we're using this fantastic guidebook from traversbayfarms.com as our main source.
It's incredibly detailed.
Oh, absolutely. It's a real treasure trove, honestly. Got
Hmm.
everything you could possibly need. Best spots to see the blossoms, local history, even some really tasty cherry recipes. It's like the complete picture of this famous cherry region.
Exactly. So if you're like us, wanting to get up to speed quickly but really get a topic, this is for you, our mission today, to pull out the absolute best bits about northern Michigan's cherry blossoms.
A whole spectacle, right?
The natural beauty, the cultural side of things, and of course, the practical stuff you need to know if you want to go see it yourself.
And it's a pretty tight window, isn't it? You've basically got late April to mid-May usually for the peak bloom.
Yeah, which makes it kind of special knowing it's so fleeting. And, why is this area so famous for cherries? The guidebook really digs into the perfect conditions they have there, the climate, the soil.
Right, and especially for the Montmorency part cherry. That's the star.
Ah, okay.
And Lake Michigan plays a huge role. It acts like this giant natural thermostat, moderates the temperatures.
Keeps things stable.
Yeah, exactly. It gives them a longer growing season, like several weeks longer on average, and crucially, it cuts down the risk of those late spring frosts.
Oh, the ones that can just wipe out the blossoms?
Precisely. That risk is way higher inland. Plus, you've got this great soil, sandy loam, drains well, and the rolling hills. It all just works.
So it's clear the cherry isn't just, something they grow there. It's deeper than that.
Oh, totally. It's baked into the identity of northern Michigan. The guidebook mentions it. You see in the festivals, the names of places. It's just part of the culture.
Like the National Cherry Festival.
Exactly. That's the big one in Traverse City. Draws huge crowds. But even just the blossoms popping in spring feels like a local celebration.
Okay, so for those listening who are thinking, right, I want to see this, where do we actually send them? The guidebook maps out some key spots, starting, naturally, with Traverse City, the cherry capital of the world.
Makes sense, right? I mean, over 2 million cherry trees around there. It's the obvious place to start, and it's stunning.
2 million, wow.
Yeah. The guidebook suggests driving south on Silver Lake Road or maybe north on Long Lake Road. Lots of family orchards along those routes. Really pretty rolling hills.
Okay.
Or if you want something right in the city, check out the Village at Grand Traverse Commons. They've got trails through fruit trees. And the Tart Trail or the Boardman Lake Loop are great options, too.
And there was a tip in there for photographers, wasn't there? For the early birds.
Uh-huh, yeah. Head to the western edge of the city right at sunrise. Apparently, you often get this light fog in the valleys then.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it makes for these really, dreamy photos of the orchards in bloom. It sounds amazing. Definitely adding that to the list. Okay, moving out from the city then. Old Mission Peninsula. That sounds like the classic Blossom Drive.
It really is, like the iconic route. It's this 18-mile peninsula sticking out into Grand Traverse Bay.
Just gorgeous, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Peninsula Drive and Center Road M37 are the main roads, just lined with orchards pretty much the whole way. And you get these incredible lake views constantly.
Nice. Any must-see stops along there?
Well, the guidebook calls out the Old Mission General Store, super charming place,
Yeah.
and the historic Mission Point Lighthouse right at the tip. Definitely worth stopping.
Gotcha. Now, the timing's a bit different out there, right? Because of the water.
That's right, yeah. The bay keeps it a bit cooler, so the blossoms on Old Mission tend to peak a little later. Think early to mid-May usually.
Good to know. Okay, next up, Leelanau County. This sounds like a different vibe orchards meeting the big lake, Lake Michigan.
Yeah, Leelanau's got more variety in the landscape, maybe a bit more rugged. Rolling hills, but also some steeper ridges and, yeah, those amazing views where the trees meet the shoreline. So where specifically in Leelanau?
M22, the scenic drive,
Mm-hmm.
is a big one. Especially that stretch between Sutton's Bay and Lake Leelanau. Really picturesque.
M22, okay.
For higher views, the guidebook flags Boone Road and Jacobson Road. And if you want something quieter, the drive from Lake Leelanau over to Cedar goes through some lovely, peaceful orchards.
And there are some nice towns to maybe stop for lunch or explore.
Oh, for sure. Sutton's Bay is lovely. Leland is fantastic. You have to see Fishtown there.
Fishtown, right.
Yeah, it's this preserved fishing village, really unique. And Northport is another quaint little town worth a look.
Sounds like a great day trip. Now, what if you want to maybe avoid the biggest crowds? The guidebook mentioned Elk Rapids and Antrim County, kind of a hidden gem.
Yeah, it's pitched as a quieter alternative.
Yeah.
The Elk Rapids area has some beautiful orchards along roads like Karen Highway and Spencer Road.
Okay.
And if you head further east towards Bel Air and Torch Lake, you get into higher elevations. The blossoms there are often set against forests, which is a really nice contrast.
Different kind of beauty. Yeah.
Exactly. Elk Lake Road gets a shout out for cycling and photos. And there's a loop, the Shanty Creek to Bel Air loop, that actually takes you right past one of the Traverse Bay Farms stores.
Oh, convenient.
Very.
The guide also pulled out some specific scenic drives, focusing on those photo ops everyone wants.
Yeah, you can see the highlights. So M37 on Old Mission, M22 in Leelanau, Center Road back on Old Mission, and the Antrim County Blossom Byway.
Right.
And for each one, it gives you a quick idea of what makes it special and maybe the best time of day to catch the light.
And photography tips were mixed in there too, which is super helpful.
Definitely. Timing is key, obviously hitting that 7 to 10 day peak window.
Right.
And shooting during the golden hours, just after sunrise, just before sunset, is highly recommended. The light is just softer, warmer.
Makes a huge difference.
Totally. And think about your composition, layering things in the shot. Using a tripod helps a lot, especially when the light's low.
Yeah.
And a really big one, respect private property. Always.
Absolutely essential. Okay, so you've picked your route, you know where you're going. What do you actually need to bring for a Blossom Day trip?
Good question. The guidebook has a really solid packing list. Basics first, light backpack, definitely comfy shoes because you'll probably walk around a bit.
Layers. Always layers in Michigan spring.
Always. Yeah, long sleeves, maybe a fleece, a windbreaker,
Mm-hmm.
hat, sunglasses, reusable water bottle, stay hydrated.
Right.
And your phone charger, or even better, a portable battery pack.
Oh, yeah, good call. Don't want the phone dying mid-photo shoot.
Exactly. And maybe grab a physical map or download offline maps. Cell service can be patchy in spots.
Smart. Okay, what about camera gear for those who want to go beyond the smartphone?
Well, your phone is great, obviously. But if you have a DSLR or mirrorless, bring it. A tripod or even a mini tripod is really useful for stability, especially in that golden hour light.
And memory cards.
Oh, yeah. Bring extras.
Yeah.
And spare batteries. You can burn through them fast when everything looks so good. The guide also suggests a polarizing filter.
What does that do?
It helps cut glare and makes the colors pop more of the blue sky, the white blossoms. Really makes a difference on sunny days.
Interesting. Okay, beyond the essentials, what about comfort items?
Little things can make a big difference, like a travel blanket or picnic mat if you want to just stop and soak it all in.
Nice idea.
Bug spray, sunscreen, yes, even in spring. And maybe a little notebook to jot down thoughts or sketch.
Love that. Okay, picnics. No road trip is complete without snacks. The guidebook had some great cherry-themed ideas.
Yeah, and it cleverly weaves in the Traverse Bay Farms products, showing how you can use them.
Mm.
For savory stuff, they suggest things like cherry chicken salad wraps using their dried cherries,
Yeah.
or goat cheese and cherry flatbreads, even a tart cherry trail mix again with their dried cherries, or like a grab-and-go charcuterie board featuring cherries.
And sweet treats. Please tell me there are sweet treats.
Oh, yes. How about cherry almond scones, or cherry clusters, or bark, or even just fresh fruit cups, but with a cherry poppy seed dressing drizzled over.
Okay, I'm hungry now.
Right. And drinks too. Cherry lime sparkling water, homemade cherry lemonade using their tart cherry juice concentrate.
Oh, the concentrate. Good use for it.
Yeah. Or even iced tea, but with ice cubes made from frozen cherry juice.
Blabber.
And don't forget the practical picnic stuff, cooler bag, reusable utensils, napkins, and definitely a trash bag to pack everything out. Leave no trace.
Crucial. The guide also gives a heads up on weather, which is always unpredictable in spring.
For sure. Late April, often crisp mornings, maybe windy afternoons. Early May is often the sweet spot, warmer temps. Mid-May, you might see peak bloom hitting the higher spots.
So basically, be ready for anything.
Pretty much. Chilly mornings, warmer afternoons, cool evenings, and rain or wind can pop up and affect the blossoms, so just be prepared.
So maybe pack an umbrella.
Yeah, umbrella or a poncho. Extra socks are a surprisingly good idea if you step in wet grass. And maybe light gloves and a scarf for those cool edges of the day.
Good tips. I like the section with advice from locals, too.
Yeah, that adds a nice touch. Things like getting out before 9 a.m. for the best light and fewer crowds. The reminder about layers, can't say that enough. And packing a cherry snack, like dried cherries or salsa, just to, get in the spirit.
Love it. Okay, super important topic, orchard etiquette. These are working farms, private property.
Yes, the guidebook is very clear on this, and it's so important. Rule number 1, Assume it's private. Don't just wander into the rows of trees unless you're specifically invited.
You can still get great photos from the edge, right?
Absolutely. Stay on the roadside or designated turnouts and never pick the blossoms. Each one could become a cherry.
Right. Seems obvious, but needs saying.
And don't block driveways or paths where tractors might need to go. Yeah. These are businesses. And, a great way to show appreciation is to support them by some local products, maybe from Traverse Bay Farms or a farm stand.
Good point. Okay, building on that timing for light and crowds again, specifically for photos.
Golden hour, golden hour, golden hour. That soft, warm light just after sunrise and before sunset. It avoids the harsh midday sun that creates really strong shadows.
And fewer people usually, especially early morning.
Exactly. Midday is tougher for photos, generally busier too.
What about sharing photos online? The guide had some thoughts on doing that responsibly.
Yeah, which is important these days. Basically, show respect for the land in your photos. Don't show people doing things they shouldn't, like climbing trees or picking blossoms.
Makes sense.
Tag local businesses if you bought something, give them a little boost. Use accurate hashtags. And maybe be a little careful about sharing super specific GPS spots for fragile areas, just to avoid them getting totally swamped.
Thoughtful advice? Drones are popular now too. Any guidance on that?
Yep. FAA rules first, stay below 400 feet, keep it in sight, don't fly over people or cars.
Standard stuff.
Right. And etiquette-wise. Ask permission if you're near a farm. Try not to spook animals with the noise, and don't hover over groups of people. It mentions Old Mission and Boone Road as good spots for drone shots because of the wide views.
Okay. Back to regular photos. Any composition tips?
Yeah, some classics, rule of thirds, dividing the frame. Using depth of field to get that nice blurry background so the blossoms stand out.
Ah, portrait mode on phones does that.
Exactly. Using leading lines like the rows of trees to draw the eye in. Getting close up for details of the blossoms. And maybe including a person sometimes, just for scale.
Good ideas. And always, always leave no trace.
Always. Pack out everything you pack in. Stay on paths. Don't trample flowers. Respect wildlife. Simple stuff, but vital.
Absolutely. Okay, so the blossoms fade, but the cherries arrive. The guide has recipes to make after your trip, which is a great way to keep the feeling going.
Yeah, it connects the bloom to the fruit. And again, features Traverse Bay Farms products. First one sounds amazing. A cherry blossom-inspired salad with a tart cherry vinaigrette.
Ooh, nice. Using their dried cherries and juice concentrate?
Yep. Then there's a tart cherry recovery smoothie, again with the concentrate, maybe rehydrated dried cherries.
Yeah.
That one's focused on the health benefit.
Like after a workout.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And a homemade cherry trail mix, using their dried Montmorency cherries, of course. Super easy, portable souvenir.
It's nice how they explain why these recipes matter, too.
Right. It's about reliving the trip, sharing it, supporting local, and getting those cherry health benefits. It even lists other quick ideas, like cherry balsamic chicken or cherry glazed salmon.
Making me hungry again. Okay, let's step back a bit. History. The guide dives into the backstory of cherries in this region.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Traces the Montmorency cherry from, 17th century France to North America.
Wow, that far back.
Uh-huh. And how it really thrived in the Great Lakes by the mid-1800s. It mentions the very first Michigan cherry orchard was planted on Old Mission Peninsula in the 1850s.
No kidding, by a Reverend.
Reverend Peter Doherty. And again, it stresses that unique microclimate thanks to Lake Michigan.
And how did Traverse City become the cherry capital?
Well, it started with those early orchards, then the first official Blessing of the Blossoms Festival in 1925, which eventually grew into the huge National Cherry Festival we know today.
That's cool. Some of the fun facts were wild, too.
Weren't they? Like how many pounds of cherries one tree can produce, or that Michigan grows 75% of the entire country's tart cherries.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And the melatonin in tart cherries, the number of trees versus people in Traverse City, even using cherry pits and pillows historically.
Ah, never heard that one. And NASA researching cherries.
Right, for potential astronaut benefits. And the cherry pit spitting record, of course. Can't forget that.
A true Michigan classic. The guide also gives some background on Traverse Bay Farms itself.
Yeah, founded back in 2001, really emphasizes their commitment to Michigan fruit, that farm-to-table idea. Plus, all those national food awards, over 38 now. And their wellness line, Fruit Advantage. Plus, the retail stores in Bel Air and Elk Rapids sound like destinations themselves. They even get celebrities stopping by sometimes. The Hollywood hub of northern Michigan, apparently.
That's funny. And it brings us back to the health benefits cherries as a superfruit.
Definitely. The guide summarizes the research, helps with inflammation, muscle recovery, maybe uric acid levels, sleep, heart health. It's all down to things like anthocyanins and melatonin found naturally in the cherries.
So if people want to bring some of that goodness home, the guide highlights specific products to look for.
Right, super practical. Tart cherry juice concentrate is a big one. Explains the benefits, joint health, sleep, recovery, and how to use it. It spotlights the Traverse Bay Farms one specifically.
Makes sense.
Then you've got things like cherry salsa. They have different heat levels, and cherry vinaigrettes. And of course, dried cherries, great for snacks, salads, baking.
Versatile.
Totally. And for daily wellness, the Fruit Advantage supplements the capsules and the powder get a mention as an easy way to get those benefits.
So it's not just juice and dried.
No, there's more. Cherry jams, cherry BBQ sauce, cherry honey mustard, cherry syrup. Lots of tasty options. And it tells you where to buy, including their online store.
Okay, so beyond just seeing the blossoms, are there actual events happening during that season?
Yes. The guidebook has an events calendar section. It reminds you the timing is roughly late April to mid-May, but check local Blossom Watch updates online for the latest.
Good tip. And it breaks events down by area.
Like in Traverse City, maybe winery events on Old Mission, specials in downtown shops, the farmers market opening where Traverse Bay Farms might be.
Okay.
Old Mission focuses more on the scenic drives. Leelanau might have winery pairings or the Leland Farmers Market opening. Elk Rapids and Antrim County section points to the Traverse Bay Farms store events or the Bel Air Farmers Market, plus the Torch Lake Drive.
So things are happening all over.
Yeah, and general things too, like other farm markets opening, maybe guided photo tours or nature walks. Lots going on.
That scavenger hunt idea for family sounds brilliant.
Isn't it? Such a fun way to get kids engaged. It's themed like cherry blossom observation, sights and sounds of spring. Has them looking for specific things, taking photos.
Turns a drive into an adventure.
Exactly. Suggests making it a team challenge or an alphabet hunt. Ties it into learning about science, geography, plus tips for parents, like bring snacks and be flexible.
Love it. And you can maybe pick up a printed copy at the Traverse Bay Farms stores.
Yeah, I think that was mentioned as an option.
Okay, last big section. The practical planning map and contacts, your go-to resource.
Yeah, this pulls it all together. Starts with a quick checklist, then a map showing those 4 main areas: Traverse City, Old Mission, Leelanau, Elk Rapids, Antrim.
Super helpful visual.
Then detailed driving routes, Old Mission Loop, M22 Loop, Torch Lake Route with distances, start endpoints, suggested stops, even a table highlighting specific viewpoints like Boone Road or Mission Point Lighthouse.
Everything you need.
Pretty much. Plus contact info for visitor centers, wineries, the chambers of commerce, addresses for the Traverse Bay Farm stores, recommended places to stay in each area,
Wow.
and a reminder about all the printable tools you can get: maps, checklists, the scavenger hunt.
They really thought of everything in this guidebook.
It seems like it. Super comprehensive, from the beauty to the culture to the practical stuff.
Well, as we wrap up this really fascinating deep dive into northern Michigan's cherry blossoms, it's just so clear how special and, yeah, how short-lived this whole thing is.
It really is.
So we definitely encourage you, if you can, to plan a visit using all this great info, whether it's the drive, the food, the family fun. There's a lot there.
And even if you can't make it for the blossoms, you can still get a taste of it year-round with products from places like Traverse Bay Farms.
That's true. Extends the experience.
And I think, the takeaway is that seeing the blossoms is more than just looking at pretty flowers. It's connecting with nature, with the local culture, this whole agricultural heritage. It's quite powerful.
Absolutely. A great final thought. We hope you, the listener, found something in this deep dive that sparked your interest, maybe something you want to explore more. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Deep Dive.